Good morning, students. Welcome back to biology class, Organisms and Populations, chapter 13, part 4, Life History Variation. Populations evolve to maximize their reproductive fitness or Darwinism fitness, high intrinsic value. Under a particular set of selection pressures, organisms evolved towards the most efficient reproductive strategy. Some organisms breed only once in their lifetime. Example from the animal Pacific salmon fish, plants, bamboo plants, while others breed many times, most like birds and mammals. Some produce a large number of small-sized offspring, oysters, pelagic fishes, while others produce a small number but a large-sized offspring, like birds, mammals. These facts indicate that life history traits of organisms have evolved due to limited abiotic and biotic components of the habitat. Now we'll see the population interact. Organisms interact in various ways to form a biological community. Interaction between two species is called interspecific interactions. They include name of the interaction, first one mutualism, both species are benefited, competition, both species are harmed, predation, one predator is benefited, other prey is harmed, parasitism, one parasite is benefited, other host is harmed, then the commensalism, one is benefited, other is unaffected. Last one, amensalism. One is harmed, other is unaffected. So these are the interspecific interactions: mutualism, competition, predation, parasitism, commensalism and amensalism. First, we will discuss about the predation. In a broad ecological context, all carnivorous, herbivorous, etc. are predators. About 25% insects are phytophagous. If a predator overexploits its prey, then the prey might become extinct. It results in the extinction of predator. Therefore, predator in nature are prudent. Now we will see what are the importance of predators. First point, predators control prey populations. When certain exotic species are introduced into a geographical area, they spread fast due to the absence of its natural predators in the invaded land. Example, the prickly pear cactus introduced into Australia in the early 1920s caused havoc by spreading. Finally, the invasive cactus was brought under control only after a cactus feeding predator, that is a moth, was introduced into the country. Second point, biological control methods are based on the ability of the predator to regulate prey population. Third point, maintain species diversity in a community by reducing the intensity of competition among competing prey species. Example, the starfish pisaster is a predator in the rocky intertidal communities of the American Pacific coast. In an experiment, when all the starfishes were removed from an enclosed intertidal area, more than 10 species of invertebrates became extinct within a year due to interspecific competition. Now we will discuss the defenses of prey species to lessen impact of predation. Some insects and frogs are camouflaged, that means cryptically colored. Some are poisonous. The monarch butterfly is highly distasteful to its predator, that is a bird, due to a special chemical in its body. This chemical is acquired during its caterpillar stage by feeding on a poisonous weed. Next, defenses of prey species to lessen impact of predation. Morphological characters. Thorns. Most common morphological means of defenses of plants like acacia, cactus. The leaves are reduced like thorns, that is saving the plant from the predators. Many plants produce chemicals that make the herbivore sick, inhibit feeding or digestion, disrupt its reproduction or kill it. Example, calotropis, that is a weed growing in abandoned field, produce highly poisonous cardiac glycosides. Therefore, cattle or goat do not eat it. Nicotine, caffeine, quinine, strychnine, opium, etc. are defense against grazers and browsers. Next population interaction is competition. It is a process in which fitness of one species is significantly lower in presence of another species. Interspecific competition is a potent force in organic evolution. Competition occurs when closely related species compete for the same limited resources, that are the food, and the space, that are the resources. Population interaction competition in that the next point unrelated species can also compete for the resource. Example, flamingos and fishes in some shallow South American lakes compete for zooplankton. Competition occurs in abundant resources also. Example, in interference competition. The feeding efficiency of one species is reduced due to the interfering and inhibitory presence of other species, even if resources are abundant. Evidences for competition. Abington tortoise in Galapagos Island became extinct within a decade after goats were introduced on the island due to greater browsing efficiency of the goats. Next, competitive release. A species restricted to a small geographical area due to the presence of competitively superior species expands its distributional range when the competing species is experimentally removed. Cornell's field experiments showed that on the rocky sea coast of Scotland, the larger and comparatively or competitively superior barnacle balanus dominates intertidal area and excludes the smaller barnacle cathamalus from that zone. In the competition, we should discuss the Gauss competitive exclusion principle. Gauss' law, it states that two closely related species competing for the same resources cannot coexist indefinitely, and the competitively inferior one will be eliminated eventually. This may be true in limited resources but not otherwise. Species facing competition may evolve mechanisms that promote coexistence rather than exclusion. Resources. In this picture, we are showing the different colors of the different flowers, birds. Okay. Now, resource partitioning. If two species competes for the same resource, they could avoid competition by choosing different times for feeding or different foraging patterns. Example, MacArthur showed that 5 closely related species of warblers living on the same tree were able to avoid competition and coexist due to behavioral differences in their foraging activities. Thank you.